Now, moving on fast and furious, as always, in the 99 Club Festival, we've got an incredible speaker, Valentina from Coca-Cola. She's talked about something that's become so prevalent in our industry, but she's got a really interesting take on it. So, Valentina, you've got 99 seconds, or I'll horn you off. Over to you.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. Basically, today, in the next 99 seconds, I will talk to you through the end of the advertising world as we know it, and how advertisers like us, they are equipping for when the cookie will actually become obsolete. Next slide, please. So, next slide. Thank you. So just taking a step back, this is the advertising world today, whereby, actually one slide back, we're still in today, not yet tomorrow. Thank you. So basically today we have players like walled gardens that obviously they have a user base that is super large, and they actually don't need to sell any data and to share any data in order to be able to monetize. And then you have not own third-party cookie players that are sharing data across publishers to increase visitor monetization. As per tomorrow, there will still be, so next slide please, there will still be the usual suspects, so the walled gardens, but there will also be a new breed of players. And this new breed of players, that basically will be literal walled gardens of their own. Probably even the Coca-Cola company will be one of them, whereby we actually gather first-party data via registration, and we sell audiences based on on-site behavior and content consumption. And so, to the next slide, please. And so basically, this is in a nutshell what we're trying to do. You know very well that MarTech and NavTech in many instances have been separate. What we want to do today is to actually merge them together to give an identity to behavioral data and provide enrichment to social demo data. And through the use of the digital identifier to actually end up with a single ID per person, avoiding duplication and not relying on the lifespan of the cookie. The Coca-Cola persistent ID will then be able to actually, when activated, will be able to give us a single view and a complete to be able to actually not be reliant on the different channels and the different dividers. And this can be used to our advantage, or we can actually decide to use it to exchange it or to sell it, to monetize from it.
Brilliant. 99 seconds and a bit, just over. Valentina, thank you so much. Fantastic talk. Again, a subject that's so top of everyone's mind in this industry. It's great to hear what a big FMCG is doing about it. So lots of questions coming in as usual, but I want to start off one here from Sue. And she asks, have you got any tips how I build my first party data? We certainly aren't Coke.
Well, how to build a first-party data? First of all, you need to have, I think, a strategy in place. You need to be able to have also the infrastructure to be able to start collecting it. And the idea is obviously trying to merge as much possible sources of data, whether they are probabilistic or deterministic data. It doesn't really matter, as long as then you can kind of match them and to be able, as we said, to be able to enrich them as you go along, and to identify, the single person that is using multiple devices across multiple channels, so to actually avoid the duplication. But the idea, as you very well said, probably is how to gather as much first-party data is via registration, for example, and obviously then firing cookies every time people visit your digital properties.
Excellent advice. Question here from Mike. He asks, do you plan to build up customer identity using third-party solutions or build your own solution to do this?
No, we will definitely rely on external provider. For example, even just for the digital identifier, we have to use external partners. The same thing with cookie matching tables. So we are definitely not going into that yet internally.
Question here from Steve. He says, how would you like to see ad tech and martech firms adapt to meet your aims? How happy are you with that section of the market?
So So let's say, I think there's still a way to go, in the sense that sometimes we find, because the two things have been kept separate for so long, that there is they're a little bit rigid. So I think they need to evolve as well as the market requirements will change.
Fantastic. Okay, more questions flooding. One here from Rich. He says, or she says, bearing in mind GDPR and other privacy laws, how are you planning on incentivizing users to part with such detailed information?
Well, everything that, everything that, all the data that we collect is all GDPR compliant. So in that respect, we're fine. It was a little bit struggle, at the beginning to get everyone on board, but now I think it's has been fully adopted as part of the process.
A question here, and it sort of comes across as slightly sarcastic, but I'm taking it to sort of...
We can take any questions, it's fine, even the sarcastic ones.
Okay, well, Chris asks, why would anyone register for Coke and explicitly allow their data to be used in marketing?
Well, it all depends on, it can be either because you're registering to any, to consume any content. You're registered for any promo, you are having, there is a lot of not just merchandise, but at the same time, we're moving in the age of personalization. So how about having a product upon subscription that is actually personalized to your need states?
Excellent. There's a question here from Darcy. I think she's picking up on your initial point. She says, are new walled gardens from brands like Coke a worry? I guess everyone talks about the walled gardens as a threat sometimes. If FMCG brands are going to create new walled gardens.
Well, can they be a threat? I don't know. It all depends how you use it. It all depends, obviously, that creating a pool of qualitative and quantitative data that you can use for your own purposes or actually monetize from it, but even just exchange with others. I don't think it would be that bad. So, but this is a little bit where it's going. The idea is to be as much as possible transparent, and be open to actually, do this data sharing that we have been talking about.
Perfect. We've got so many questions coming in. I'm going to take this one that's quite related to the last question from Jim. How does the tomorrow small walled garden concept look? Do you believe platform members will want their data sold?
Okay. Well, again, it depends on what they're getting in return. Even somebody that goes to any of the platforms that I mentioned within the walled gardens, I mean, they don't pay a fee. However, they actually are very happy to give a lot of their personal information to others, and sometimes they're not even aware of that, of doing it. So I think instead, if there is a clear understanding of and having a win-win situation, so what you're getting back, I think people, yes, they would be less concerned.
Perfect. Valentina, we've come right to the end. Thanks for being very generous and taking any questions.
Thank you.